Peace and love. My name is Jewel, and I'm going to do a Lenormand reading for the earth signs Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo for the beginning of the new year. Let's see what Spirit wants us to be. Let's look at some of the energies. I'm going to use the old style Lenormand deck. After that, I'll pull a oracle, not after, but I'll pull a couple of oracle cards doing by Alexander Ray, same author and artist. And then in the end, we'll pull a crystal card to see what crystal energy we should embody or use for our healing throughout the month. All right, Spirit, give thanks. What messages do you have for the earth signs as we move into the new year to help aid in our healing, our movement forward, our creativity, our abundance, all those wonderful things that we look forward to? Spirit, what messages do you have for us? Thank you. Thank you, angels, for your protection. Thank you, ancestors, for your courage and your strength. Thank you, Most High, for the gift of life. We're nurturing ourselves for the new year with the bear energy. We're making sure that we're taking time to rest. We're nurturing our ideas. We're fostering communication with the birds. All right, so let's see. Positive communication. We have the key, the mice, the man, the ship, the birds, the woman, the clouds, the ring, and the clover. On the bottom, we have the coffin, which means that something is coming to an end with this cycle. Difficulties here with the snake, dealing with difficult people, negative environments, but also transformative energy with the snake, spiritual energy with the snake as well. Could be dealing with love, a romantic entanglement, or just something that you've loved in the past. Maybe you found out it's not necessarily right for you moving forward here with that and moving on into a new direction here. For some, it'll be quick. It'll be a quick transition. I have my tea with me just because I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. And so I'll have a sip of that in a moment. So I just want to let you all know. All right, so let's get a couple of these cards so we can see. Communication is extremely important for us as we move into this new year with the birds right there in the middle. So, all right, so let's see what we have here. So we have the chase card. This also makes me think of victory. The way this figure is the way they are raising their hands with that crown there as well. You can see it. All right, and then spider. So maybe coming up out of a web, being entangled in something, having a difficult time, removing yourself from a circumstance or a situation or a group of people, a work environment. It can be anything. On the bottom, we have the unicorn. So Spirit wants you to know that you are extremely rare. You are very beautiful, very important. What you do has meaning. Things you say have power. Movements you make change others, right? And so they know that you're rare. Your ancestors, your guides, your spirit team. We all are special, And so we want to understand that. But this unicorn energy is somebody that thinks outside of the box. They don't come around too often. 1 in a million type of energies. So this is the energy that you embody. And Spirit wants you to understand how beautiful and how special you are. All right? This is the light, shedding light on all that you have to offer. Also, when you operate in this unicorn energy, when you understand your importance, when you understand your gifts, you're able to shed light and to spread that light towards others to help them when it comes to their healing. as well. For some, we can be looking at situations when it comes to our work, because it's Valley card with the idea of ships coming in, people looking out to the waterway, or the idea of commerce. I think about that with this card as well. All right, so let's take a quick peek. So we know there's a victory at hand because we have the Chase card. It's a victory that we've worked hard for, something that we've had to, pretty much it says chase, something that we've had to move towards with a serious dedication. So let's take a quick peek. So like I said in the middle, that communication is extremely important. There's been a loss of communication with some type of commitment, or a breakdown in communication with a commitment of some sort. This can be in a relationship because we have the man and the woman out here. This can also be the masculine and feminine energy, the embodiment of that energy within the self, right? So a commitment that you have with yourself also can be here if you want to look at it like that, if it's not a relationship for someone. But there's something going on with a certain commitment that's causing some distress here with the mice when it comes to the communication. Two people aren't communicating properly. If it's a work environment, there's communication that's not happening in a truthful manner. People aren't being truthful to each other. At the top here, we have the key, the mice, and the man. There's been an important loss. Something that this person relied heavily on has been difficult with the energy of the mice. So something that was once a key ingredient to this person's life has caused the stress. Or if we want to look at the idea of it just being an energy, Spirit is saying, understand what's important and understand what weighs heavily on the body and keeps you from operating in this energy that brings about this victory with the chase. All right, because when we think about masculine energy as movement and feminine energy is going inward, both energies are extremely powerful. They both are equal in their power, just different ways of executing that power, right? But Spirit is saying, understanding your importance, resting your mind to bring about this energy so that you can have this victory as well. The key, the ship in the clouds. There's been difficulties moving forward for you or in a situation. It's caused lots of sadness or confusion with the clouds. Sometimes the clouds doesn't mean that it's not there. It's the idea that it's obscured. You can't see it, but the destination is there. It's just hidden at this moment, right? But we understand that there's an ending that you have to bring about, right? Because when we read cards, we understand that we play a role in it. It lets us know the energy's on the table. None of these things should be surprising. When you get a reading, you shouldn't be surprised by the energies on the table. You should understand that there's an ending that needs to happen, right? But you have to facilitate that ending. You have to know it. Do things happen without us participating in it? Yes, those things do happen in life. But when we want to make major transitions, a lot of times we have to be in a position of power and be in a position of having great courage to bring something to a close when we know it's weighing heavily on us with this mice energy. This person is worried. It's something that's worrying them, something important in their lives. It's bringing about lots of frustration. This isn't a good energy. For some, it's financial loss. The mice deals with loss of time, loss of energy, anything like that. But it also deals with financial losses as well. Even though the vision, the movement, it's not happening the way that you want it to happen here because we have the clouds, or you're not able to see that outcome. Spirit is still saying to continue to chase because we have that here. So we have to chase after it, even if we don't understand or see the end game or the end result of it. We have to have the knowing that the victory is there with it. Some of us are entangled in the spider webs here. But even still, in that spider web, in that entanglement process, there can also be movement of the mind. Movement, and with the movement of the mind, you're able to craft and come up with ideas on how to pull yourself up out of situations. So not staying in this energy, which will keep you from being able to decipher where you are, or to look at some of those clues to get you out of the situations that you're in. So you want to make sure that you're able to, it's a tough one, but you want to have a balance between movement and going within with this masculine and feminine energy when you're dealing with difficulties like the clouds and the mice. Let's look at this one here. The ship, the birds, and the lady. For some, there's some good news coming in, or some news coming in about movement forward, and it will come through. You know, a lady might give you that information here because we have that lady sitting here. But for me, mainly, it's you move forward when you communicate with yourself and you communicate with your spiritual team, right? Because we want to think about the lady energy is going inward. That's going to bring about movement as well. So we have the movement that comes with the action, with the chase, and we have the movement that comes intuitively here with the lady. The clouds, the ring, and the clover. Looking for happiness, looking for better days here. With the clouds energy, coming up out of a difficult cycle, moving towards a better commitment, that's going to bring about happiness. For some, it's leaving a romantic partnership because I do see that here as well. But for a lot, it's just the idea of a deeper commitment to who you are, to your vision for how you want to live your life with this commitment. Because commitment, really, like I said earlier, can be with the self. That's going to be the true happiness here. The man, the lady, and the clover. Balancing the masculine and the feminine energy brings about the happiness that you need in order to bring this victory into your life. Happy communications, happy feelings between a man and a woman here. That's also on the table. If this is something romantic, if it's something romantic, it's not an easy relationship, is what I'm seeing. Because we have a masculine energy that's worried about his finances or worried about something that is extremely important. Give Spirit, what is this? The key here. What are the worries? What are the worries here with the key? Maybe he's figured something out. He's figured something out about his life here that's bringing about a worry. Give me a message here about the key. With this masculine energy. So finances. Finances for some, and the idea of being able to move forward out of a situation, because a fish deals with flow. So you have somebody worried or concerned that they're not able to get out of a situation here with the spider energy. They're stuck. Tell me about this lady. Crossroads on the bottom. This person wants to move into a new direction. If it's not a relationship, it's the energy, right? The energy of movement, wanting to bring something creative, a creative project into fruition, and being blocked due to finances, not being able to get out of a certain situation to move forward. That's also there as well. Tell me about this feminine energy on the table. The moon. So the feminine energy, it's the same thing what I was bringing up earlier. It's the idea of going inward. It's highly intuitive. So this is if this is a relationship, this particular woman, the energy, she's extremely intuitive. She's able to, she's an empath. She understands the energies of others. She goes within. If this is not a relationship, it's the idea that you need to embody the energy of the moon to move towards success. The moon in Lenormand also deals with success as well. Recognition, those powerful energies. On the bottom, we have the rider, being able to move forward. So we have two people or two energies that need to move forward. The actual physical manifestation and the spiritual manifestation, right? The balancing of the two to move forward towards a victory, if that makes any sense, what I'm bringing up. Let me get some more, because this is kind of interesting to me. In the beginning, we talked about communication is the key. So communication moves this thing forward. That's the key to moving it forward, because we have the birds in the middle. So the masculine communicating with the feminine, the energetic movement communicating with the intuitive movement in order to move a project forward, balancing of the two. If it's a couple or relationship, the two people figure out a way to come into communication with one another. Let me get two cards. The meal. The meal for me deals with work, commerce, things like that. I also think about rumor mill as well. So I don't know if it's a situation where other people are involved, or if, because that unicorn was out here earlier, if this is something that is, if it's a relationship, something that's different or stands out, or one of these characters stands out and it doesn't fit the norm. That can also be that as well. This is just the day-to-day life with the meal, the ins and outs, going to work, functions, things like that, and then the calling. So this is an interesting combination. This is the difference between the industrial life. You want to think about that, the mechanisms of life with the mill, and then the calling. So that idea of the entrapment and freedom, not that it has to be entrapment for some, but the idea of being boxed in with the mill, and we see that box, and then this person is out in the open. So finding that balance between the industry, but also the likeness that comes to the calling for some. For some of us, we need to move away from the mill energy, all right? What others want from us, what others want for us, and move into this energy where we're able to operate as the unicorn, which is a calling. This card makes me think of the fool energy. We don't have the, he's not walking off a cliff, but he has his dog. He's just enjoying life, being himself. Or it could be a female. I can't quite tell. I don't think it makes a difference. On the bottom, we have the altar. So understanding what's important to you when it comes to your spiritual life. What do you worship? Who are you loyal to? First and foremost, you want to be loyal to yourself, loyal to your vision for the life that you want, not get entangled in somebody else's vision for your life. That's the fallacy of it all. That's the difficulty. This is when it gets hard. When you're entangled, it's an entrapment. Somebody else's vision for you, you've pretty much lost all autonomy. You belong to someone else. You don't belong to yourself. And there are plenty of people who want to trap a unicorn. If we want to think about that unicorn that we saw earlier, I've seen it. You've seen it in different films. But the idea of trapping this magical being, maybe, just to have it for display, to say we were able to capture something so rare, to harm it. But when you are unique, people understand that, right? And it's ego involved in many different ways. But for somebody to trap a unicorn and not allow it to be free and to keep it in a state of confusion, that's somebody working out of their ego. It's dangerous. Spirit is also saying, Open yourself up to transformation with the butterfly. Don't be afraid of transforming. Don't be afraid of showing your wings, showing who you are. Also, life being short-lived. Physically, okay, we move on, all right? We live forever in a way, spiritually, the spiritual body. But we want to take advantage of our time here on this earth, and we want to make sure that we are operating as our true selves and that we are using our callings, whatever they may be. The mill and the calling, two different aspects of life. Which one do you want to move towards? Which one do you want to chase? This is an interesting reading. I don't know. Let's get a crystal card to see. And then I might pull one out. I'll pull out another card because I want to. All right, so we have good luck. So we already knew that we had, and this is connecting with your spiritual guides, third eye and crown chakra. We talked about that earlier, being able to go inward here with the feminine energy in the moon. But also, we know that there's a victory here. We know that there's luck that's on this table. There's good luck. There's good luck when these two energies merge. Whether it's a masculine and feminine in the physical, or this is just a spiritual body coming together to create something beautiful. Because we have the chase here. Out on the table. Also, the spider energy, we're looking at the negative aspects of being entrapped or being trapped in the web. But the spider, to create these webs that are pretty much artwork, is extremely powerful. And they do it intuitively. It's inherent, it's within them to just make these beautiful art pieces whenever they need to, right? To provide for themselves. And so Spirit is saying that you have a very beautiful gift. Something that's extremely important, very rare, very intricate, all right? Something that is delicate too. Delicate in many different ways. Delicate in the fact that you have to protect it at all costs because it's the idea of other people being able to pull that web down. The spider creates that web. It takes so much time. It doesn't take but one human or one person to walk through it. It's completely destroyed. Of course, they redo it. But for humans, it's not so easy to get back up and to start again when you've created something so beautiful, right? And so you have to protect yourself, protect your work. You do that by making sure that you're around the right people. Let me pull one of my essential. This is one of my favorite decks here, essential oil oracle cards. And we're going to pull the energy for the masculine. So Spirit, give me an energy for this masculine, whether it's a masculine energy, a man, or if it's just the energy spiritually. What message do you have? Thank you, angels. What message do you have for this masculine energy on the table? All right, let's see what we have here. So cardamom, integrity. The trigger statement, it is their fault. In true statement, my thoughts are the cause of my suffering. That's a rough one. And it says, as emotions rise, go within to see what stories and memories are fueling them. Then release what is not serving you with gratitude. And so that idea of going within, all right, getting yourself from this stage of being entrapped, understanding, well, the entrapment stage here with the spider, but the spider is also a great storyteller as well. So maybe sit here for a minute and see what the spider has to say about things that we've told ourselves that aren't true and how we can work and move up out of those energies into that unicorn state where we're understanding and knowing that we're beautiful, that we're important, and that we're special, and what we have to say and what we have to do truly has meaning. Not blaming others, right? Because the trigger statement here is their fault. understanding the role that we play in our own lives, having the courage to go for the chase, having the courage to come up out of situations, right? Um, can somebody put you in a situation where you can't move forward, make it difficult for you? Yes. But that's on them too, right? But what can you do to change your life? I think we spend so much time worrying about other people and how they've wronged us and how they've made situations and things difficult for us that we don't realize that we play a powerful part in our lives. The unicorn is extremely magical. On the bottom it says honoring self. I create my way. True statement. You are ready to fulfill your desires by thinking outside of the box. The path less traveled may be more fulfilling. And so we had that the male energy with the box here. I was bringing it up. You have to think about the calling instead. Give me some energy for the feminine. It can be feminine, like I said earlier, the physical or just the spiritual body. Give me some energy for the feminine. Thank you. Nurturing. It says, I am all in my head. Trigger statement. True statement, I create with pleasure. And so that idea of going within with the feminine energy, that can be good and it also can be bad. So you want to be careful with that, that you're not in your head so much that you're afraid to come out. And it says, take time to rest. And in that time, be open to creative pursuits. Surround yourself with things that please your senses and be gentle with yourself. That's a beautiful message. On the bottom, it says passion. I am sacred. And then you need to understand that. And that goes for the masculine and feminine energy on this table. That's why we saw that unicorn there. Very sacred energy. We saw the altar, worshiping and caring for the self. And it says, when I am vulnerable, I am at my strongest. Reconnect with your feminine energy and pursue something that ignites your fire. Open the gates of your fortress and explore. So the fortress is where we've been hiding our talents, hiding ourselves. Spirit is saying it's time to open the doors and be brave enough to come out and chase. Don't forget, and chase that thing that brings you joy, that lights you up, right? That's the true happiness here. That's the true happiness. Spirit is saying there's good luck with that. There's good luck. You're healing your heart as well with the heart chakra. Follow your heart. Your heart knows. But even though, this is a difficult reading because, like we saw earlier, things might not be seen. You can't see it now, but you just have to understand it. You start by understanding how important you are, how rare you are, how special you are, how unique, and what you have to offer means something. And nobody else can do it like you do it, right? All right, peace.